Welcome back to Skiff Talk, episode 7. As always, Captain Connor Bryant, Tidal Waters Guide Service. Today, I have a 16-foot Salt Marsh Heron. This is a recreational angler that owns this boat, so this is a great example of this boat. It is beautiful and very pristine, so we're gonna go through it. First thing you're gonna notice whenever you walk up to it, it's got great spray rails on your bow. It also has these mounted glassed-in tow rails to kind of help with line management. Also, if you have an angler that maybe it's their first time on the bow of a skiff, or maybe someone a little bit younger, these rails, this kick rail works great to keep everybody happy, safe, and know where it is, and also keep your line in the boat. Just like most of the boats we've done so far, front access hatch on the bow. Going into it, you're gonna have access to everything. This boat is rigged up with two 12-volt batteries, and you still have plenty of room with 2 bags and your 12-gallon fuel tank back here. Although these boats are 16 feet, they've done a great job with space and the design on these boats. The hull weight is gonna be 340 pounds, which it's awesome for something like this. It has a 52-inch beam at the water, 72-inch beam up top. So it's got plenty of room. As you'll notice, your gunnels, as we move back on this boat, are extremely wide. And it has the painted on non-skid as well. As you'll notice here, side console, plenty of room. You have enough room, you can stretch out if you wanted to, throw a bean bag, bring whoever you'd like out. You have plenty of room for all of that.
So many activities!
What the owner did with this boat, which I think is really, really unique and a great idea, is she has mounted a JBL Bluetooth speaker underneath the gunnel instead of some of the skiffs we've seen so far with the turtle box. And she actually has another one she mounts underneath the polling platform, and they sync up Bluetooth-wise so that she has no problem keeping music going without having to drill any more holes in the boat. Moving back, she has 2 compartments on this back hatch. One, as you can see, are just massive. This can be used as a live well. It's not rigged as a live well, but I think she uses this as just dry storage. Again, wide, deep gutters, so it's gonna be dry, whatever you put in here, whether you wash the boat or decide to bury it in the backside of a wave. On your starboard side, this is gonna be access for your rigging, your battery, house battery, battery switch, fuses, your bilge pump, everything's right there. It's a huge access port, so if you do need to get in there, as I've said numerous times on these videos, if something's gonna go wrong, it's probably gonna go wrong in the hardest to reach area. Access ports like that make life tremendously easier when it comes to changing the fuse out, fixing a wire, or anything like that, being able to get in there, especially if you have a kid, throw them in there.
I'm in danger.
Get them in there and get some of this stuff fixed. The console on these boats are it's very roomy, but they keep it simple, which I'm a huge fan of. You have a large labeled switches, easy clean, dash display. You have enough space between your throttle and your helm, so you're not gonna be working against it. This particular skiff does not have a front porch, but she does have her GPS on a double jointed arm, so she can move it around, manipulate it as she wants as well. And it also has enough leg space to where if you're sitting on your seat, you want to stretch your legs out, you can kick them out underneath here. You don't have anything really to worry about. And if you end up, it's open underneath, so if you do need to reach underneath the console, you absolutely can. One of the small things that Salt Marsh does that I think is really cool is the caulk line, the bead that they drop on this. It's similar to how the beaver tails do it as well, but that takes a lot of skill to do, so something very unique that you gotta appreciate. Moving back, this boat, the max horsepower that the 16 Heron is rated for is a 60. So she has the max horsepower. This is a Yamaha T60. It's the high thrust. It's geared a little bit different to help her get up out of that pocket a little bit better straight out of the gate. She's got a 3-blade prop on it. Also exposed trim tabs. Now these trim tabs, what you'll see too, they don't have these large ones like a lot of the Hells Bays that we've shown has. These are very, very proportionate to these boats. It's a very responsive boat as well. So they're small. It's about the exact same length as the transducer. So they're still gonna be pretty much out of the way as well. You also have a Atlas Micro jack plate. I think this is starting to become a really common thing that we're seeing on these skiff walkthroughs. Great for fishing in really shallow, skinny water, long runs. You can kind of get that boat up where you need to be. Another cool thing that Salt Marsh has are it's a really slick polling platform design. So they have their feet a little bit closer together, but they still offer a pretty wide polling platform. She also has her tubes for a sissy bar if she wants to add one on as well, which they're also totally out of the way, but ready to roll. And she's chosen to use the V Marine push pole caddy. I think that might have been the first one we've noticed so far. I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, all in all, these are fantastic boats. Salt Marsh has done an amazing job on optimizing the amount of space and room on a 16-foot boat while still keeping it extremely skinny and drafting 6 inches or less. So with this boat, the owner's been kind enough to give us the keys and let us take it out and give it a good test run. So y'all stay tuned and we're gonna go drop this boat and give her hell. So the first thing you notice when you get on this boat is a lot of the side consoles you get onto, they're gonna naturally, once you get behind the console, give a little bit more to that starboard side. This boat, I haven't seen much of a list at all, which is, for a 16-foot boat, extremely impressive. That 60 coming up on plane, it gets you up and out of that pocket extremely fast. And the 60 pushing on a boat that's less than 400 pounds, you're gonna really maximize that fuel burn. So we have, condition-wise, we have a decent bit of boat traffic today. We have a little bit of wind. All in all, it's pretty flat. Not bad conditions at all. Going through wake, those spray rails, those big spray rails that Salt Marsh has, you're not getting much spray at all on you. I think the little bit of spray that hit me just then, that's mainly gonna be just from the wind picking up and carrying it on to me. But I had no spray come over the bow whenever we just went through some wake. We found a pretty shallow spot to test the polling on the Salt Marsh. We're in pretty coffee colored water, but you can still see the bottom. We're in well less than a foot of water. I'd say certain spots 6 inches, the deepest probably 8 to 10. This boat polling completely straight, even listing wise while you're on the platform. It's a little bit rocky, but again, a skiff's a skiff. If you stand up here and rock any of these boats that we've done on these hard enough, they're gonna rock. This wide beam that the Salt Marsh has, this is where it really shows off what it can do on the stability wise on this platform. So even if you're moving around on the platform, it's still extremely stable. So there's a patch of grass right here. We're gonna see just how how shallow we can get the boat before it's at a point of not liking it. Our bottom here is kind of pluffy, so it's got silt sitting on top of hard mud. So it'll give a little bit, but it's not gonna give much. So here's just a few inches of water and Spartina grass. And just a little bit of a rock, we're already moving again. So again, extremely skinny. As you can see, I mean, that's maybe 6 inches of water right here. Extremely impressive. And we are aground, I do want that to be clear, but this slick, flat bottom of this boat, you can punch right through stuff like that. Which, if you're somebody that you're fishing a lot of these shallow marshes, grass, anything like that, it's extremely useful to get to. A lot of the pools in these back creeks, you have to go through grass any way you look at it to get into them. So being able to just rock the boat a little bit and cross right over, awesome. Turning wise, again, pretty much the weight of your arm can push this boat. We have a broadside wind right here, and it's still just a slow turn. And to correct that turn, now we're tracking back straight again. So very, very easy to pole boat. So again, very, very skinny. We're in about 3 feet now, still very responsive. All right, so whole shot, open water. We're in about 7 foot of water. River with current. We're gonna be going up against the current. We have our tabs all the way up right now, and jack plates all the way down, and motors trimmed all the way down. So it gets out of the hole extremely fast. This is where you can notice that T60 really, the gear for it to pick up and just push. So we're going against current, throttled all the way down. We're around 32 miles an hour. All right, y'all. I think that is going to be a wrap for the Salt Marsh Heron, the 16. As always, if you guys have any skiffs that you'd like us to do a walkthrough on, give you a little more on the water showing as well, drop them in the comments below. If you have any questions regarding this platform, feel free to also drop them in the comments below. We'll get to you as soon as possible. Other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.